Hello everyone. I want to thank everyone for your sweet comments on yesterday's video on coloring with markers. I got a lot of requests to do the coloring in pencils, and that's what I'm going to do today. But before I start, what I need you all to do, please, is like the video and subscribe. YouTube likes that, and I look at it as a way of getting payment. It's payday. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out a lot, and I would really appreciate it. Now, I also want to throw out a disclaimer. I'm on my second shot of COVID yesterday, so I'm a little bit off. So please bear with me. Okay, getting started. Colored pencils. This is powdered sugar, or you could use any white cardstock. When I first started with colored pencils, the technique I used was to lay down a heavy coat of pencil and then use Gamsol to break the wax and spread the color out. I no longer do that, but this is a perfectly good technique. It's a great way to get started. And if you don't like to color, it's perfect because you lay the color down and you go. So I'm using Crayola marker pencils here for this particular sample because my Prismas, I don't want to lay down that much pigment because I use my pencils a lot and I need them for other projects. So in other words, I'm cheap. So what you do is you just go in and you lay down the heaviest amount of color you can. And like everything else, where you want the color to be the darkest is where you lay down the color. One of the reasons that I do not do this technique anymore is, well, it's because I like coloring. I like the layering of color, as I said before, whether it's pencils or Copic. I like to keep adding color until I am pleased with what the outcome is. The second reason is I have arthritis in my thumb, and all this pressure after a while gets to my thumb. I guess that's the price of old age. So I got some pencil out here. So once you have all the color laid down, you take your blending stump and you ink it with, or you wet it with Gamsol, and you start breaking the color down and bringing it out. I'm sorry, this is moving the phone. I can see it. There's just no way for me to keep this steady. I wonder if I could tighten it. Hold on, I'm tightening it. Maybe it won't move so much. Oops, wrong end. Hold on. There's like pencil stuff. So you can see you could do coloring in a fairly inexpensive way. This is Crayola pencils and some Gamsol, and I'll put the link for the starter kit below because it's a great little starter kit. You pick it up on Amazon. You get the little bottle. You get a couple of these. I recommend you get more because I like to use one per color. And you get the filer, and what the filer is like if you need to clean it off, you just file it until the color comes off. Okay, and that's it. Of course, I made a mess, but that's why they make erasers for. So that's how you would do it the simple, fast way. A while ago, and I want to just mention this before I get started with the way I use colored pencils now. A while ago, all the big YouTuber names were going out saying, "Oh, game changer," with getting an empty marker like this one and filling it up with the Gamsol and using, you know, this to work. And that was all great and dandy, except there's a problem. First of all, when you fill this up with Gamsol, it starts to saturate the paper too much, which is fine, but then you got this wet spot on your paper. It eventually dries, and it's okay. But the worst part of it was that the next time I went to go use it, it was dry, and I had to fill it up again. I'm like, this is insane. This is going to cost me a fortune. So I've noticed that no one else out there is saying anything about this technique any longer. So you can try it if you'd like. Any empty marker would do. You just remove the tip and you fill it in with I used a, I remember I made a special trip to the pharmacy to pick up infant drops so I could use the dropper fill for this. Anyway, so I don't recommend it, but I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so now I'm going to put away, I'm going to put aside, oh, wait, before I go on to my other technique, and there's another way you can color to make it go faster, and I showed this just recently in another video, where you can take an alcohol marker. It doesn't have to be Copic. It could be any marker, and you just lay down, excuse me, it has to be an alcohol marker, or dried watercolor. Once the watercolor dries, you can do it. And you lay down a wash, and a wash, all it is just one layer of color on the paper. And what this gives, I learned this technique a long time ago. It gets rid of the block for some people, and also you don't use as much ink. So this sort of helps too with my thumb, my bum thumb. I would recommend the light color because now I can start building with darker colors. I probably didn't get, ooh, and something smeared. Maybe I didn't use the right ink. Make sure you use the right ink for your Copic. Obviously I didn't. Maybe, because that's what happens. See, if you don't use the right stamping ink, it's going to bleed. So I think I just went ahead and stamped everything and didn't think about what I was doing. So, for instance, now that the Copic is down, now I have something to work with and I could start slowly building color. Now, if you're going to build color with pencil, you really need to do it with a very light hand, unlike the way I did it below. Because once it goes through the tooth of the paper, you're not going to be able to add any more color. So you don't want to ruin or burnish the paper. So go ahead and start adding your pencil. Again, I'm using the Crayola here. And then with the Gamsol as well, you could start blending in the color into the pineapple. So now you just go in little circles and you just blend it out into the yellow. And you sort of get a smooth blend into the Copic markers. And you just keep layering and layering and adding Gamsol until you get the look you're looking for. So you can go back in again and add another layer on top. And you can also bring in another color and blend it in. You can blend pencil to pencil too, as I'm doing here. And then you could just continue with the Gamsol and break it down. And the Gamsol is optional. You don't have to use it. I mean, you can leave the pencil markings. It's not a rule that says you have to break it down. I do because I like the smoothness of it, but you know, there's when I do critters, I don't mess with it too much. I mean, I might blend a little bit out, but I leave a lot of pencil because, you know, critters really aren't smooth. And come to think of it, there's a pineapple. So that's what you come up with. 2 pencils and 1 alcohol. And disregard the black line. All right, so that's another option when using pencils. And again, it doesn't have to be Copic markers. You could do it on watercolor. The Bristol Smooth that I did yesterday, you do a layer on watercolor and let it dry. And then go ahead and add the pencils. So there's no rule that says it has to be just Copic. So it's whatever is in your budget and what you can afford. Now, I probably won't do all these images. I'm just probably going to concentrate on the one on top, just because I'm a little off today. But I think you'll grasp what it is that I'm talking about. This is the paper I'm using here is called Bristol Vellum. It's different from the paper I used yesterday that was Bristol Smooth. Bristol Vellum is designed for pencils. It has a rougher texture to it, and it holds the pencil better. I came across this paper by accident. I was watching a YouTube channel on watercoloring on Bristol Smooth, and the girl, whoever did the video, put the wrong link on the bottom, and I purchased this instead. And then when I got home, or when it came to me when I got it, and I started playing with watercolors, it wasn't working. And I was getting really frustrated. And then I realized it was the wrong paper. So paper is very important. So let's start here with the coconut, and I'm going to use my Prismacolor pencils for this coloring. Again, as like I always do, I always start on the outer edge. Hold on, I'm going to sit down. I'm standing up, and I think it's best if I just sit down. Okay, much better. So, because this is pencil takes me a little longer than anything else. But I do like the pencils because you have more control. You lay the color down where you want, and so basically it's just lay down color in little circles, and I'm doing a very light hand. Also, with pencils, you want to work with a sharp point. And these are just tips I've picked up along the way. So I might go a little heavier hand on the outer part and then start working it in. And then at this point, I might get a lighter brown and then start blending pencil to pencil. Pencil to pencil. And I stamped this with licorice ink, and I bet you that's what happened with the other one. I stamped it with licorice ink too, and that's why it bled. Licorice ink, I find, doesn't work well with Copic markers. So you blend them, and you keep blending the 2 colors back and forth, and you can leave it, like I said, like this alone, and use pencils to just blend and leave the roughness of the coconut. Okay, and then you could even go with a lighter color. Isn't that cool? It just comes to life. And this is just a pencil. You really don't need the Gamsol. This paper helps, because it grabs. And again, you take this to the level you want. I mean, the more I do it, the more I try to challenge myself and learn new things. If life wasn't so hectic, I'd probably go to art school. I would love to go to art school and learn how to do everything correctly. Because as I said before, I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. And then you could just go in with the lighter color and just blend the whole thing through. There you go. You can leave it like that, or you can grab your stump and your... Now, since I already blended in with pencil, if you move the color too much with the Gamsol, you're going to lose the shading. It'll melt the whole thing together. So I just do little circles with a very light touch. See how that comes to life? Again, slow, very slow, little circles, slight blending. What you're doing is you're melting the wax into the paper. And some more. Now, I don't care for how this came out over here, but you could always go back and you could always add more color and just keep building. Sometimes the more, well, I find when I look at other people's artwork, I find that the more contrast they have in their images, the more interest there is. And that's, sometimes I wonder how they do it, because they'll just throw in like a really, really dark color, but when you do it, it makes the image pop. Okay, now I'm going to go with the lighter brown. I'm going to try to fix this boo-boo I did here. There you go. It's all gone. And this color right here. And I'll take my stump again. And again, you don't even have to really blend anything. Just very gently go through and fill some of the crevices in. Anyway, and doing this is easier on my hands because I don't have to do a whole lot of pressure. I'm just gliding this back and forth, and the pencil is very, very light. Okay, and again, you can keep going and going and going until I don't have, let me see, I have my, just for fun. Let's try this just for fun. And this is black. And I'm just going to do a little outer using black, because that gives it a big contrast. I'm just going to do it on this one side and see what it looks like. See that? All of a sudden, this whole area right here came to life just by adding a little bit of black. I'm telling you, just a little bit is all you need. And blend it right into that edge. It almost looks like the coconut is going around. Let's do it on the other side. Balance it out. What I'm trying to avoid is speeding this up so you can see how long it actually takes me and the entire process. See that? So when you compare it to the other one that I did, I mean, you select, you know, what you think you like the best. Okay, and then the coconut is almost like a creamy milk. So I'm just gonna, and I don't think I have a stump for this color. And this side doesn't have any color. And then again, if you want to add more interest, you can go in. This is one of the lighter browns that I used, burnt umber. You can go in very gently and just add some shadow into these corners. Okay, let's see how that looks. There you go. I got the milky portion of it. Then, of course, like everything about me is you got to have pink. So let's do well, it's more like what color is this? Hot pink. Hot pink. I want it to be darker over here, so I lay more color over here. And then get softer as I go out. And then I need a pink stub. Oh, I should have done this all before. Here's one. Okay. Again, same thing, just little circles, just to break the wax down. And if you want to keep it light, work from light to dark when you break it down, so that way you're not smearing all the color. And you could always go back and add more. Same concept, little circles, and just build and build. How cute. Okay, I didn't get a color for the straw, but let's make this an orange. I don't know if they have oranges on I think lime would probably go better, or lemon, but we're doing an orange because those are the colors I have here. Those are the colors I pulled out. I'm just grabbing the Crayola. I'm just going to go over it with a little bit of yellow. And pulling my Crayolas out again. I didn't grab everything from my Prismacolor pencils. This is a red. Let's do a red straw. I think a green straw probably would have been better, but red it is. Okay, so for the orange, and then the red. Now I have these type of stumps too, and they're okay. They push themselves in. I think the tighter wide ones are better. And this point is just nasty, so let's see if I can get in there and make it work. There you go. And that's how I color with pencils. So hopefully this was helpful. At some future date, maybe I'll bring a card using this image. Right now, sorry folks. I'm just not, my head's just not creative right now. They say 24 hours. That's what they say, 24 hours. So we'll see. So again, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I feel like a broken record, but you know, every time I watch a YouTube, they all say the same thing. It's like, why do we have to play this game? So, I don't know. I don't know why YouTube makes it so difficult, but they do, and that's just the way it is. So have a great day, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll get back to you. And once again, thank you for all your support. Take care, everybody.